Hello, lovely. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory. We are the hosts of the IELTS Speaking for Success podcast, the podcast that aims to help you improve your speaking skills as well as your listening skills along the way.
We've started this podcast to give you gorgeous grammar and fabulous vocabulary for your high IELTS score.
Your bedtime score.
Rory, there's this expensive glass I really want to buy, but I don't want to wait until payday to get it. Would you mind lending me the money for it?
Of course. Shall we talk about borrowing and lending things?
Oh, yes, let's do that. Borrowing and lending, dear listener. So first of all, when we borrow, we take something from another person for some time. And the person lends us this thing, okay? So money, for example. Rory lends me money and I borrow money from him, okay?
It's important to understand because in some languages, the word for these two different concepts is actually the same, which can cause all kinds of problems.
Yeah. So when you take things from other people, you borrow things from them. When people give you things for a short period of time or for a long period of time, they lend you things and then you give it back, what you have taken.
It's the locus of control. I love it.
Have you ever borrowed books from other people?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I borrowed one from my mum before dropping it off at a mutual friend's place so she could read it next. And I've just taken out, and actually I regularly take out books on loan from the local library too.
Have you ever borrowed money?
Oh, not in decades. I really hate the idea of being in any kind of financial debt to anyone, especially a bank, since it feels like they own your soul. Even a mortgage was out of the question for me, and I avoid borrowing it from friends, since I think it can actually ruin a friendship as well, which is why I typically don't lend money to others either.
Do you like to lend things to others?
Provided it's not money, I have no issue with that. My friends are quite responsible people for the most part, and they tend to look after things. And I live with a lodger too, and I like renting a room to him since I'm grateful for the company, not to mention the income from that.
How do you feel when people don't return things they borrowed from you?
Well, this is it, you see. I'm a very orderly person, so when I loan things out, I expect them to be returned to their rightful place, and I keep track of that. So when people borrowed money from me in the past and they didn't return it when they said they would, it really put me out of sorts. And similarly, for other things, I notice the hole it leaves in my existence, and that annoys me no end. So I just don't like doing it at all. As you know, we now release all of our premium content for free, and it's available for 1 month. After 1 month, it goes into our super secret archive. To sign up for the archive, click the link in the description below. See you soon.
Right, dear listener. So we usually borrow what from other people? For example, we can borrow shoes or clothes.
Oh, I would never borrow shoes from someone. Do you?
Yeah, once I went to this very cold place, like -35, and I had to borrow some special shoes. Yeah. Or people borrow board games, video games, some kitchen appliances, like ice cream makers, bread makers, camping equipment. There you go. Travel gear, suitcases, for example, sporting equipment, bicycles, some specialized tools, like some woodworking tools, dear listener, books. We borrow toys, we borrow musical instruments, costly electronics, dear listener, like cameras, drones. Oh, Rory, can I borrow your drone, please?
I don't have a drone to borrow.
No? Oh. Yeah, interesting. And also, dear listener, you can ask oh, Rory, can I borrow your lipstick?
I do not have lipstick, but I think this used to be a thing. Maybe it's not a thing now. Did ladies not used to borrow make up from each other when they were in the bathroom together or something like that.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, but it's,
They'd still do.
It's another concept. Like, absolutely, yes. So kind of like, you borrow things for a very short time. Like, you're in the bathroom with your girlfriends, like, oh, can I borrow your lipstick? Okay, you take the lipstick, you put it on, and then you give it back right away. So, or like, you are at home at your friend's house, and then kind of, oh, can I borrow your hairdryer, or can I borrow, I don't know, a shirt, or can I borrow your fancy sunglasses? Yeah, or can I borrow, I don't know, shampoo or hand cream? Then you use it right away and then you give it back. This also is borrowing. And very often we borrow books from other people.
Or the library.
Oh, we borrow books from a library. So we take out books from the local library. And kind of, if you borrow some books from a library, you bring them back. We can also borrow money from our friends. What about a bank? If I go to the bank, or I kind of like online, is it borrowing, or I take out a loan?
Well, you can take out a loan or you can borrow money, but the idea of taking money from somewhere, from a bank, is the same. And there are different kinds of loan. Like, a mortgage is one that you would use for really big purchases and then paying them back over a long period of time. It's usually for houses, but that's not the only thing.
Yeah, and Rory hates the idea of being in financial debt. A debt is a situation when you owe money.
When you need to loan or pay someone back.
Yeah, for example, I take $10,000 from Rory and now it's my debt. I owe him this money. So I don't like financial debts. D-E-B-T. We say it, debts. And I don't borrow any money from anybody, and I don't lend money to others, to other people. Because I think it can ruin a friendship. It can destroy a friendship. The proposition is to lend money to others or to other people. And about lending, Rory is okay with lending things to other people because his friends are quite responsible. So his friends always pay him back, return the money. And Rory lives with a lodger. Who is a lodger?
A lodger is someone that pays to live with you, basically. So if it's someone living in property that you own but you do not live in, then they are a tenant. And if it's someone who lives on your property while you live there, they are a lodger, is my understanding of it. I'm simplifying things.
Or a roomer. In the American English, a roomer or a lodger. Someone who pays for a place to sleep. So Rory, do you come to your lodger and say, like, give me my money? Where's my money? Give me my money or I'll throw you out. No? You don't do it? Give me my money.
Ah! Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man? Where's the money? You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? You got till 5 o'clock.
Not with money, no. With other things, yes, I'm quite happy to lend physical things like books or other bits and pieces to people. But when it comes to money, there just seems to be something special about money which makes people very stressed out. And that's why I don't like to do it. Other people can, but when I talk about myself...
What about your lodger? Does he pay on a regular basis? Do you come up to him and say, hey, lodger, give me my money?
Oh, right, okay. When we talk about the lodger, no, there's a regular bank payment that gets made at the end of every month. But then we have when you rent a flat from someone, you have a rental agreement. And when you lodge with someone, you have a lodger's agreement. And that stipulates all the dates and everything.
And what do you call people who take money out of people who owe them? They're really serious, maybe a mafia.
Well, by force.
Yeah.
They're loan sharks, but I don't really think that that's a regular issue these days, at least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so if you you take money from some, dodgy people, from some, mafia, So you might meet some loan sharks, like in films, like serious people. Like, oh, come on, you need to pay us back. Unfortunately, some people don't return things they borrowed from other people. And how do we feel about that? Well, we are frustrated, and especially Rory is really upset when somebody doesn't return the things that Rory gave them. Rory is a very orderly person. I'm an orderly person, means that you enjoy your order.
Yes. I know where everything is in my apartment at any one time. Well, I know where everything that belongs to me is.
So when you loan something out, what do you mean?
It just means you allow people to borrow it for a period of time.
Yeah, like I give you a loan, I loan things out, and I expect my things to be returned. So I keep track of what I give to people. I keep track of what I lend to people.
Some people do that on a spreadsheet. I do it in my head.
When people don't return the things I gave them, it really puts me out of sorts. It puts me out of sorts. So this means that, well, you don't like the situation and you are really upset, unhappy. To be out of sorts is an idiom to be slightly ill or slightly unhappy. For example, well, I've been feeling tired and out of sorts.
But that just means not feeling so great about the situation. Feeling out of sorts can be feeling ill, but it can also just be feeling uneasy about something.
Yeah, you can also say that it annoys me no end. It really annoys me. It's just, I hate it. It annoys me no end. And I liked it how you put it, like, I notice the hole it leaves in my existence. So kind of a hole in my life. So they didn't return the money and kind of I feel this emptiness, this hole. And it annoys me no end. Beautiful. Right, dear listener. So my suggestion is that you can choose some strange things that people usually borrow. Like, what's the strangest thing that you borrowed? Let's ask Google.
What is the strangest thing I've borrowed? I'm just trying to think.
Deodorant, toothbrush. Ooh.
No, you wouldn't borrow someone's toothbrush. That's disgusting.
No, yeah, it is, yeah.
Do you know, I think I've borrowed someone's pen.
Pen, yeah, but that's no, that's not strange. No, Rory, that's too ordinary.
It is for me if I'm usually organized. I don't know. I honestly, I think it's unusual for most people, but in the context it makes sense. I borrowed someone's key card once to get access to a building because I'd lost my own. But that's not really weird. That's just like the logical choice in the situation.
Can I borrow your car? Just give me your car. Come on. Don't be greedy.
Oh, I think one time I borrowed someone's students from a class to demonstrate something.
Oh, that's a nice one. You borrowed people to use them.
That's something about teaching. I don't think most people would know that.
Rory's Vocabulary Show.
I know. Now it's that time of the episode where I ask Maria to identify some vocabulary or grammar from my answers. This is something that you can do and play along with at home if you want to, or while you're listening in the car. So, the first question was, have you ever borrowed books from others? And I used a phrasal verb and a collocation to talk about borrowing books from a library. But you could also use this for borrowing something from somewhere else as well. So what was it, Maria?
Take out books on loan.
Yes, take something out on loan. Question number 2 was, have you ever borrowed money? And here, I talked about the idea of owing money to people, but it was a very special collocation or phrase. What was it?
They own your soul.
That's dope. That's how you feel.
Okay. To be in financial debt.
Yes. I knew that you were going to pick that one initially because that's very poetic, but actually it's to be in financial debt. Let's talk about grammar now. What kind of grammar did I use at the beginning of the answer to the question, do you like to lend things to others?
Provided it's not money, I have no issue with that.
What kind of grammar is that?
Well, it's kind of like conditional, like if it's not money, I have no issue. I'm okay with that. So provided it's not money, if it's not money.
It's a condition. It's like a participle clause with conditional meaning. Oh, that's got to be C2. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Band 9.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And for question number 4, how do you feel when people don't return things they borrowed from you? I used a word to describe the kind of character that I have, but what was that word?
It puts me out of sorts.
No, that's how my emotions are. What about the character?
The character.
The character.
It annoys me no end.
No, that's also the emotions. No, Maria.
Oh, orderly. Yeah,
yes,
I'm
thank
a
God.
very orderly person.
Yes, I am a very orderly person. Like, I'm ridiculously orderly. It's almost embarrassing.
It is wicked. Thank you very much for listening. We send you love, energy, and joy. Stay with us, and we'll see you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Have you ever borrowed books from other people?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I borrowed one from my mum before dropping it off at a mutual friend's place so she could read it next. And I've just taken out, and actually I regularly take out books on loan from the local library too.
Have you ever borrowed money?
Oh, not in decades. I really hate the idea of being in any kind of financial debt to anyone, especially a bank, since it feels like they own your soul. Even a mortgage was out of the question for me, and I avoid borrowing it from friends, since I think it can actually ruin a friendship as well, which is why I typically don't lend money to others either.
Do you like to lend things to others?
Provided it's not money, I have no issue with that. My friends are quite responsible people for the most part, and they tend to look after things. And I live with a lodger too, and I like renting a room to him since I'm grateful for the company, not to mention the income from that.
How do you feel when people don't return things they borrowed from you?
Well, this is it, you see. I'm a very orderly person, so when I loan things out, I expect them to be returned to their rightful place, and I keep track of that. So when people borrowed money from me in the past and they didn't return it when they said they would, it really put me out of sorts. And similarly, for other things, I notice the hole it leaves in my existence, and that annoys me no end, so I just don't like doing it at all.